So lately I've been hearing that men no longer approach women at bars or at stores or in public because we're quick to call you creeps or because women are flat out mean. But I've also heard that you get annoyed if we say we have a boyfriend. So men, I'm genuinely curious, what is your preferred way of getting turned down gently? What's a phrase that someone said to you that made you walk away from that experience like, dang, bummer they said no, but they were very sweet and gentle about it, and I'm ready to do this all over again with another girl that I like?
Most normal men just walk away. They just say thank you and they move on. But then a lot of guys are not even coming up because they don't even want the hassle of any nonsense going on.
Inherent fact that men are evil. That is true. Like man as a whole is evil. It's okay if we say that men are inherently evil. I don't hate my man. I hate most men.
You can say whatever you want because the country that you hate so bad, yeah, that country protects your freedom of speech. So you can say whatever you want. It doesn't mean it's not disingenuous to spread a message that you yourself don't even believe. Either you don't believe the message that you're spreading or you don't understand what you're saying. It inherently means that is how men come. It is inevitable. Men are inherently evil. You can't say men are inherently evil and then on the other hand say, well, my man doesn't count and I love my man. I don't hate him. He's not evil, but just everyone else is because men are inherently evil. Either you don't understand what you're saying or you don't actually have a man. Either of which would surprise me. Also, Drew, isn't this you?
I'm protecting women.
By excluding women? You don't support trans people, correct? Right, that's called a transphobe. Okay. Is the problem trans women or is it men?
Do you know a trans woman is a man, right? Which by your logic would mean that they are all inherently evil?
If it looks like a duck and it acts like a duck, I'm not supposed to call it a f.
If it thinks like a dumbass and acts like a dumbass and talks like a dumbass, I'm not supposed to call it a dumbass?
I'm glad somebody said it. Just a bunch of foolishness coming out of your mouth.
So like, what does it mean when you break up with your boyfriend of a year and a half and then 3 weeks later he is dating his ex-girlfriend that lives in a different city, so she quite literally had to fly here to see him?
It means that you should probably just move on and mind your business.
I've seen a post that said that there's no attractive men. Like, where are the attractive men? Like, I only see beautiful women, but not enough attractive men. And I just think we all have the same type. Like, we all like the same type of archetypes of guys. And a lot of guys just be doing whatever the hell they feel like doing. You know what I'm saying? Getting wicks and dressing like they're 16 years old. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, just be doing whatever. They don't know their look. Like, they don't know their signature look. They just be trying that just don't be working out for them. And a lot of women just don't find it attractive. And we only look for a certain type of guy. And it's only like a handful of guys that actually know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? They actually know how to look good. I feel like so many men could be attractive if they just knew their look. Like, they knew what hairstyle to do, knew how to dress. You know what I'm saying? Like, it took that time to invest in their beauty.
I agree. I think that men should put a lot of effort into doing that. I also think that maybe as a person, when you're wanting a man to help you out, maybe, just maybe, you could give men some pointers on how they look without trying to trash them and say, oh, he's giving me the ick. He's not my style. He's not my type. You might not be that man's type, but working together, y'all can be more of what each other would want. But you know, that sounds like partnership and teamwork.
The girl in the black, I think I'm in love with her. Go talk to her. No.
You don't understand. When I first saw that video, the first thing that popped into my head was, I wonder how many men this has happened to and they've just been too scared to talk to me.
When I see stay-at-home wife, I'm like, oh, that's so nice. Oh, wonder what that's like. And then I see stay-at-home girlfriend and I'm like, oh.
I'm already married with children, so it doesn't matter, but it almost pisses me off when ugly girls DM me. You know, it's like, I wasn't going to cheat on my wife anyways, but like, you thought if I was going to, it was going to be with you? Get a fucking grip, dude.
Get a grip, dude.
If she would have just kept cooking and doing her shit, you know, she would have kept her little base. But because so many black women was jealous of her, they catapulted her into a whole different thing. I'm trying to tell y'all, it's gonna be the biggest haters that really get you going. If you ain't got no haters, you ain't gonna make it far. When everybody supports you, it be good, it feel good. But if you ain't got no haters, honey, where you think you gonna go? So the only reason Cooking with Kaya really went big like that is because so many black women had think pieces on her. Oh, she only twerk. Oh, she can't even cook. Oh, she not even that cute. Oh, she this. Oh, I cook better than that. I do. You always got to compare to the next man actually just doing what the fuck need to do. So that's why. Y'all better listen. Y'all better listen.
Someone please tell me that I am not the only one who had a smoking hot body in my early 20s, got into a toxic relationship in my mid-20s, was convinced I didn't need to work out anymore, gained all this weight. I gained at least 10 pounds, and now at 29, struggling to gain the motivation to go to the gym, gain the motivation to eat correctly, gain the motivation to find some type of structure. Given I'm a flight attendant, it makes things harder. But someone please tell me I am not the only one that is going through this, because a girl is struggling right now.
So it's the man's fault. My God, men can't do anything right.
You notice that the men who have money never have a problem with the women who like material things, but the men that don't have money make it a huge issue, like you're so materialistic and horrible. Is that a coincidence?
So my body count is 500, and it got me thinking, what is the average person's? Like,
I'd be right up there with you, girl, except my dad kept saying this stupid phrase throughout my childhood. It was so redundant. What was it? Oh, I love you.
Why in the you 19 going to get a BBL?
I was 19 when I got my teeth done.
Whoa, what?
I was 19 when I got my teeth done.
Why?
Cause, okay, I grew up very strict in a strict Christian household. So when I left my mama's house, I just went crazy. And then I ended up moving to Atlanta. And then I started.
How old were you when you moved to Atlanta?
19. Okay. And then I started dancing, and all of the girls in the club was making the most money with the girls with the biggest booty and the biggest. So I was a B cup. Okay, barely nothing. Okay, and I went and got my teeth done.
As soon as she said that, I knew she was a dancer.
Okay, maybe I'm getting old. I'm about to be 35 this summer, but when did we normalize thong bikinis? As I'm just trying to find some cute swimsuits this summer. And everything is a thong bikini. And I don't know about you guys, but I go on trips with my in-laws, my family, and like, I don't want to be out there in a thong. I just want a little bit of coverage down there.
Y'all know this has been a thing for a long time. It's just now that you settle down and want to have a family that is coming back to bite you. It literally always does.
Like, what is going on with men? Like, men don't put money to the side to take girls. Single men don't put money to the side for girls no more. You gotta charge that shit for fame.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Y'all keep on wanting men to do that stuff and just, oh, it's just the way it is. But when a man starts requiring stuff of you, all of a sudden he's sassy.
Y'all women are getting weird. Y'all really hate men. Now I'm starting to see why the bear versus man conversation was even a thing in the first place. Y'all think these men are these wild, chaotic beasts. They're not humans. They're not the other half of the human race. They don't have feelings and emotions. They don't have a heart. They don't care. They don't have a mind. They just this species that's infected with rabies, and they waiting to jump and kill and destroy every single thing out there. I'm sorry y'all had some bad fathers, ran into some bad friends, had some bad boyfriends, whatever you encountered. That's not all men. Just like all women don't say stuff like this. Because I would never say that. Because I know there's some good men. This comment will never come out of my mouth. Not all men watch porn. So what do those men do who don't watch it? Are they out killing and doing that to all the women? No. Unfortunately, the narrative that's painted that men are these wild animals is not true. So please stop believing that. So if corn is banned, they'll be just fine.
All right, you're not gonna like this, but it's the truth. I have dated guys 10 years older than me, and I have dated guys who were a few years younger than me. And I thought that if I dated the guys who were older, that meant they would be more matured. You know, the frontal lobe is more developed. Theoretically, that's how it's been, you know, maybe advertised to us, right? But I've got news for you. I've got news for you. That is not true. I have dated some of these guys, 2 dudes who were about 10 years older than me, and they were just as immature as some of the guys that were younger, and some of the guys that were younger were more mature than the older guys. Reality is, age is but a number in this situation, and maturity does not come from age in a whole sense if you do not work on yourself. So these guys that were older clearly have never seen a therapist, had a lot of mommy or daddy issues or just general issues with emotional unavailability, and they never wanted to research that stuff about themselves or look into it or fix it. And because of that, nothing else mattered. So like, they were in constant relationships that failed. And you know, I think learning that just goes to show that as women, we have to just be very use our discernment, not because of age, but really just treat every dude as one category, dude. And we look at them and we see how they think, how they act, how they treat us, and then we make a decision. But don't ever just think because he's older, he's gonna be smarter or wiser. Or same thing with like, don't just think just because they're maybe a year younger, but that means that he's not as smarter or wiser. It all comes down to what's actually going on in here and how much work they've done and who they really are as people. So may that be a lesson to us all.
I guess that's what gets me, right? Is you continue to say, well, some women continue to say, well, the man is not mature, he's not this, he's not that, and they'll have a laundry list of things that the man isn't because he's not meeting their qualifications. But then they'll throw out therapy and they're terrible after coming from therapy as well. So apparently therapy is not working for you either. Y'all think y'all have the answers to a lot of stuff that you really don't.
You may not harass women. You may know how to take rejection. The majority of men that most women deal with do not. And you are accountable for that as well.
Couple months, and I love it. I love socializing, and I'm single. And my friend and I were talking at the bar the other weekend, and we were talking about how we've never been approached by a single guy before, like maybe ever.
But then now it's like the more people are going on social media, the more uncomfortable even some men are to like walk up to you. It's like I've seen guys stare at me like the whole night, and I'm like, you are still never gonna find anything?
Isn't that crazy?
It's
so
so annoying.
Stare, like as if you're supposed to make the first move.
Yeah, I'm like,
that is so normalized. Yeah, I totally agree with you.
You'd rather hold your dignity? You ain't holding no lady in your bed because you scared you holding your dignity. You ain't getting no play if you not approaching nobody.
So apparently single men are starting to become afraid to approach women in real life because they don't want to be viewed as creepy. Around like 53% according to this one study. And I just really think that is not enough. Run the percentage up. Run the percentage up.
Why are men not confident enough to walk up to women now? Say shout out to the guys who are confident enough to walk up to women. The masculinity on earth has diminished drastically that guys don't even come up to you anymore. They'll just stare at you from a distance. As a woman who's trying to embody her feminine energy, you're not going to catch me going up to the guy. You're just not. We can just stare at each other. Say shout out to the guys who are confident enough to walk up to women because guys don't do that anymore.
Men don't really approach women that much anymore for a lot of different reasons, I think. But personally, I want to be approached. I would love to meet someone in real life versus online.
Yeah. Case closed, Your Honor. But I mean, by y'all's logic, majority of those women and majority of those men in that crowd are being feared, right? But all those black people, they're just minding their business, having a good old time. All right. So which one is it? Which one is it? All y'all scared and we're all weird? Or y'all want us to approach y'all and we're actually vibing in real life where we touch grass and get off these podcast mics and behind TV and computer screens when we're outside in real life? Which one is it? Which one is it? Because I see hundreds of videos of thousands of black people just mingling, interacting with one another, having a good time. Which one is it?
It is a devolution away from like family values. It is, you're married, but now you're acting single and you're not in like, you're public about it though. Like, you've already told the world, you've shown the world that you're not willing to back your husband. You guys are not willing to move in unison when it comes to these really, really important things. You've shown the world that. Now you're going online talking about protecting your individual peace as a married woman. She's speaking as if she is a single woman. And again, this would not be a problem if she wasn't literally a global leader, but she is. She is.
Men don't take you seriously because you talk to them the way you talk to other women, your friends, okay? And you have to remember that friends, other women are co-signing you, and men rarely co-sign. And when people co-sign, that means that they're ignoring the truth or reality, and they're just saying or doing whatever to go along with whatever you've said or done, okay? So when you're telling stories to your friends or other women, or you're trying to come off as if you're so confident or in the power position or this went that way, whatever, right? You might get a lot of grace and maybe even an applause from those women, like, oh, you go girl, blah, 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 blah. And men are gonna see straight through that, okay? One thing men don't believe in giving, which we all know, is some damn grace. You gonna get anything from a man before you get some grace, okay? And so, especially if he doesn't love you or like you yet, y'all are still just in like the courting process. Of course, okay? So you're gonna slip up and say something, and you think you're gonna impress him, or you're gonna come off confident, or whatever the case may be, and he's gonna know that you're overcompensating, or he's gonna know what you're saying isn't true, or whatever the case may be, and ding, 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 you're out, okay? And just like that happened with that one man, it's gonna happen with the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Of course, it's also the way you carry yourself, right? Not just what you say, but how you say it, right? Body language matters. But all in all, it's them damn words coming out of your mouth that's stopping your progression.
The price of just went up. POP.
There's a price on a... I didn't know that. How much we talking?
Ladies, okay? When you're with these athletes and rappers, you are all asking for the same shit.
And what is it that they asking for, sis? Go on.
Chanel, Kelly's, Birkins, the little bracelets, the bust-down watches, the trips to Turks and Caicos, the ass shots, the BBLs, the trip to Miami so that you can on the yacht with the bottle of 1942. This played out. They know what you're going to ask for.
Go on. What else?
They got the little taxes already ready for you. They got the hookup with all that. Got the hookup with the doctor. That you're not really asking that to do too much. You gotta make that up his mind up. He wanna feel that pressure. He wanna be motivated.
And what's the motivation, sis?
Tell that nigga buy you a mind and put your name it after you. Tell him to get you a penthouse, a mansion, some art, farm, garden, anything, please.
So these athletes, rappers, or celebrities should buy the person that they're dating a mansion or a yacht.
Honestly surprised that she's not arrested by now. Is this a joke?
I'm probably gonna get canceled for this. I'm just saying. But I really truly am annoyed by it. And like, I just feel like we've got to do better, okay? So there's this woman on this app that came on and said that her ex makes $25,000 more than her, I'm assuming a year. And then she said he pays for their health insurance. And she also said that the judge has just recently ordered her to pay child support to him. And they have 50-50 custody. She's primary physical custodial parent, but legal joint custody. So this is where it got me. She stated in the video and in the comments multiple times that she's now his sugar mama, and she's like dancing around. I'm his sugar mama. I'm his sugar mama. And how ticked would you be if the shoe was on the other foot and he was like, I'm your sugar daddy? We can't have a double standard. We can't have a double standard. Men get roasted in the comments constantly for saying that they support a woman's life. So if you have to do it for your kids with someone else, then I say, take it up in court. But don't go on an app, don't go on social media sitting here saying, I'm his sugar mama, I'm his sugar mama. Girl, I don't know. Am I wrong here? I don't know. I think it's just too far.
Well, this is what men continue to say. You have a lot of these women out here acting silly and getting away with it.
Might be the most shallow thing that I've ever said in my life. And we were talking about the fact that there are just not enough attractive men out there, and there are so many hot women.
Went to the comments immediately. I ain't finna call nobody out, bro, because this public account. Just go look at the comments. I want to start this off by saying, yes, in 2025, there's a lot of men that's not taking care of themselves as they should. But to be in the comments agreeing with this lady with a full face of makeup on in every video you post is crazy. And I'm not saying her, right? I'm not saying she got a full face of makeup on. But I need you to understand something. If you're on a dating app and you're only matching with people who look like the thing from the Goonies, 9 times out of 10, y'all are on the same playing field. Makeup and social media filters have gotten y'all delusional. When a man steps outside, you get what you get. 9 times out of 10, the man you fall asleep next to is the same guy you're going to see when you wake up. Can't say the same thing for women. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing neither. I'm not saying that. Women, wear your makeup. Do whatever the hell you want to do. I'm not telling you what to do with your bodies. Let's keep it a bean here. If you line up 10 women without makeup, as well as 10 men as they come, both physically fit to a regular extent, the lineup's going to be an even match. Come on, bro. Let's keep it a bean.
Black men to the front of the room, black men to the front of the room. If you want me, come get me. If you want me, come get me and treat me right. If not, in about 6 months, I'm about to go to the white side of the room. Yeah. Never been with a white man in my life. But all my life I had to fight. All my life I had to fight, and I want to be babied and loved and taken care of. And y'all just not doing that. Y'all just not doing that. And don't tell me it's the ones that I pick. I pick the nice ones. I pick the nice ones. But they're nice and soft. And they're not available for shit. They're complacent. So, where are the good black men?
If that's what you feel like you need to do, then go ahead and do that. I will call, text, put out a PSA to let my white brothers know that Audrey is on her way over. My white brothers, she's coming to you. Roll out the red carpet, do whatever you feel you need to do. Take care of this lady. Sis, be blessed.
So now I really feel for men. Like, I know why men don't act right. Because I saw one super baddie on Hinge and she matched with me and messaged me first. And I was like, hello? Hello? I was like, hello? And then, I messaged her 3 times, so she unmatched me. I now know what it's like to be a man.
Baby, let me tell you something. Y'all thought it was hard for men to trust women at first. Now look what's going on. Women out here using men for their money. Now men rather stay single because they don't want y'all go dance and make out. Because understand what I'm saying. It don't have nothing to do with them not having any money, them being broke, or nothing like that, baby. It's just like they don't want to put their time and effort into someone that's not going to bring anything to the table, which has nothing to do with financially, but everything to do with mentally, spiritually, physically. So we got teamwork in this business, all right? It's a teamwork make the dream work. Or am I going to be doing all this by myself? You heard it here first. Yeah.
I have a question. Where are all the good men at? And I am being so serious right now. I am being for real. I want to know where the good men are at. If you're someone who dates men and also hates men, I feel like those things are at conflict. And I personally just don't want to carry that around anymore. It's too heavy, it's too much, and I want to heal from it, I want to move on. But I feel like where I am lacking and where we are lacking societally is just having these positive examples of men being good, men being safe, men being trustworthy. So if you have examples of this, I want to know about it. Please share about it, put it in the comments. Men, if you're seeing this, please chime in, please pipe in. Like, are we safe with you? How can we feel safe with you? How can we stop carrying around this hate for men, especially when we want to be with you? I want to love men so badly, and I do, but sometimes it's hard to feel safe with y'all. So where are the good men at?
Well, men continue to tell you left and right where they are, where they might be, and what they value. But a lot of times, for some of these women, they just ignore exactly what was said.
I feel like I could make this a daily series talking about how I'm a married single mom and the who the fuck I marry. So before 8 a.m. she's already hitting the fan. We were talking about me getting donuts for the kids and going to grab a coffee for myself. I already knew he was going to have a problem with me getting a coffee because he loves to guilt me about that. So I had to clarify that this money that I was spending did not come from him. I already had my Starbucks card loaded. In the middle of me defending myself about that because he's incredibly accusatory, he tells me to just stop talking. He said, be quiet. Like, first off, I feel the need to defend myself because he's going to sit there and accuse me. And so when he said to just stop talking, in the middle of me talking, I turn around, I'm like, Phil. Yeah, I stand 10 toes down on Phil because I was literally talking. He tells me he's not going to be cursed at, and he turns his ass around and walks right back upstairs. After all of our kids have been brought downstairs, he walks his ass back upstairs and lays in bed knowing that I was about to leave to go get donuts for the kids and coffee for myself. He made himself unavailable and had to go through a man fit for about 15 minutes until I said, I'm leaving this house. I shut the door and I tuned into the Ring camera and listened for him to come back down the stairs. This is my everyday.
But what you're not telling us, or what you're not putting weight on, is the fact that y'all have probably had multiple conversations about this, to where you're continuing to do whatever you want and spend money how you want or whatever you want. And he's saying, we can't continue to do this. This is too expensive for us. And you decide, this is the way that I want to do it. Now, to give you the benefit of the doubt, maybe you said, well, this time I'm going to make sure that I put some money on a card, or I have a card for X, Y, and Z. And so the money's not really coming from me, maybe. But what about all the other times and all the other patterns of behavior that you've exhibited? And now he's the bad guy.
Like we are right now watching in real time maladaptive behavior being conditioned out. Like we are watching an extinction burst in real time. That man literally said, look, see something, say something, right? Check your mans. Whose mans is that? Knocking somebody's head between the washer and dryer. And some men got on the internet and exploded with, we want to be able to do it and we don't want to stop it. And what if they knock our heads between the washer and dryer? They know that this sort of thing is dying out, because what they didn't count on were the droves of black men who stepped in and said, we have to take care of each other. And one way we have to take care of each other is correcting bad behavior between our peer groups when we see them doing things that just aren't right, that just aren't kind. Thank you so much to the men who have stepped up to say, you know what, this is not okay to say, if you don't like being harassed when you go outside, stay in the house. I appreciate you for standing in the gap, for speaking up. I also appreciate the fact that we get to watch this in real time and understand that it's changing. It's changing.
And we're seeing from this clip that some of these ladies out here have not been paying attention to what's actually going on. Oh, now we're seeing men stand up and say, no, you can't do that. Newsflash, they've been doing that. They've been doing that for a long time, over and over again, but it's not to y'all specifications. See, some of you guys will get behind dudes and say, oh yeah, get him, get him, get him, when he's talking on your behalf. But when a man turns to you and says, now look, I got to get on you too. I got to correct you too. Well, you shouldn't be talking to women. You shouldn't be in women's business. You need to just protect us and be quiet and just talk to them. No accountability. None at all. Saw a woman in the comments say something like, men are evolving. Men been doing it. Y'all always think y'all are so far ahead of a man, but then don't want to be corrected. Be so far ahead that you can be corrected. Be so far advanced that you can be corrected. Saw a woman say, oh, I'm a free thinker, while standing in the parking lot that a man built. Oh, I'm so far ahead of man, while standing in front of the lawn that a man mowed. Walking into a building, air conditioned, heated, that a man didn't build. But you're such a free thinker, you so far ahead of men. If men gotta get it, which they have been, then you gotta get it too. And when they come back for you and they come back around, accept that and take accountability for your action.
I want to start off by saying that my husband is a great man. I love him to the moon and back, and I will do anything for that man, and I know that he will do the same. But sometimes, I had a long day today. I got out of work late. I called him when I was supposed to get out, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna be late, like 2 hours late. And he said, okay, what's the plan for dinner? Do you want me to stop by some Subway? I said, no, we have stuff at home. I told him what the plan for dinner was. He's like, okay, cool. When I get home, I'm gonna talk to the kids and we're gonna get started. I said, bet. When I get off, which is about 2 hours later, give or take, maybe an hour and a half, I call him and he doesn't answer. And so I call my son and I'm like, hey, where's Pubba? He's like, oh, he's downstairs. He's doing laundry and he's eating a Subway. And I was like, he's eating a Subway, and he's like, yeah. So I was like, okay, can you go downstairs and get Papa? And he's like, okay. So he goes downstairs. He's like, hey, Papa, Mama's on the phone. And I was like, did you get me a Subway? And because I'm thinking, if he got me a Subway, then we don't have to worry about dinner. It's fine. It is what it is. And he's like, no, I got the kids a Subway and I got me a Subway. And so I stay silent because I'm trying not to lose my shit over a Subway. And I was like, I thought we had a plan. He's like, yeah, you had a plan. You wanted to cook. When you get home, we can go ahead and cook. First of all, who the fuck gonna eat dinner now? It's about to be 7 at night. Who's eating dinner? Second of all, why am I even mad about a stupid Subway? Why am I mad that I didn't get a Subway? Like, I know the world's not perfect. I know it's not pink all the time. And I feel stupid because I can't even call my mom to tell her about this stupid... Because it's not worth interrupting her dinner or my friend's dinner to tell her over this issue. And then I feel stupid because... Why am I feeling like this for a stupid Subway? And then I'm sitting here crying for a stupid Subway. And then I'm supposed to go back in. I'm supposed to go in the house and pretend like it's fine. I don't want to cook anything now. But I'm already throwing a tantrum and it's too late.
Well, you're probably upset about him getting the kids Subway and not getting you anything. You're probably mad about the consideration or the lack thereof. I guess my question would be, if you're saying I'll be home in a couple of hours, they're hungry at 5. They're probably starving at 5, right? And so he's saying he probably got off the phone. Y'all probably did have a plan, or it could be that y'all did have a plan, but the kids were like, man, Daddy, I am really, really hungry. And so he said, you know what? Let's go to Subway. Now, I don't know where you work. I don't know how far the job site is from where you are, but he went and got the kids Subway. What you're essentially asking him to do is eat snacks or wait at the house until you get home. And then you cook. You're going to get home at 7 o'clock. And then dinner's probably going to be ready somewhere around 8 at best. So at that point in time, they would have waited for 3 hours hungry. They were probably starving at that point, right? So if he decides, let's go get Subway, he could have sent a text message and said, hey, the kids were hungry. We went ahead and got Subway. So if you want to go get something to eat on your way home, then you can. I would say on your part, I know you're upset about that, but what you probably could do, since you were on the phone and you hadn't gotten home yet, you say, oh, you didn't give me anything? No, well, we went and got Subway, yada, yada, yada. Man, why didn't you give me nothing? Blah, 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 and throw your little tantrum, but then stop off and get something to eat. That's what I would have done. I wouldn't have come home without no food and then sat in the car. But I get where you're coming from. You're upset at the lack of consideration or the perceived lack of consideration.
You may not harass women. You may know how to take rejection. The majority of men that most women deal with do not.
Yeah.
And you are accountable for that as well.
So I learned something in a project management course, not really a course, but seminar I took not too long ago, is that when you work on projects for improvement, you work on something called an 80-20 rule. And you work on your process improvement based on the 80% of the people you deal with and not the 20% of the outliers, right? Mm-hmm. So if I want to improve something, I'm looking at the majority of what I deal with and not the outliers. Mm-hmm. And what he's saying, I hear what he's saying to an extent. I think that this, I'm going to call it the problem black man, the aggressive black man, the black man that don't know how to deal with rejection and things like that. I don't think that is the overall majority of black men.
No, but they definitely exist.
Absolutely, wholeheartedly, hands down. And just like we talked about in that that process improvement meeting, at some point we will have to address the 20% that we have to deal with because it is a problem, right? We have to come up with a process improvement for that 20%, but we cannot dump what the 20% does off on the 80%. If 80% of the men that you come into contact with are horrible human beings, you got to start asking yourself, what is the environment that I'm in? You got to start looking at your environment, because I'm here to tell you 80% of the men that I come into contact with are not horrible human beings. They just aren't.
Unless they're this way behind closed doors.
Very
and
possible. But that's not what we're talking about.
Right.
We're talking about being out in public,
exactly,
out in open spaces, and being cackled and harassed and taunted and mistreated by black men. I'm out all the time. I don't run into this. I don't see this. I smile at a black man. He smiles back. I say, good morning. How's your day going? He say, good morning, beautiful. It's wonderful. They smile. You want to know why? I had one tell me, you know what? You're the first black woman I've seen all week that spoke with me with a smile. We are a part of the problem. Let's just be clear. We want to dump it all off on black men, but we also have to ask ourselves, are we causing a part of this? Y'all finna be real mad in these comments.
Clean it up now.
Are we causing part of this because we're treating everyone the same? Because a black man comes to you and says, hey, how you doing? And you immediately have an attitude. You immediately think that he's trying to talk to you. You immediately think that he wants something from you, when he could very well just be saying, good morning. It's becoming almost a tit for tat. Women, black women, are attacking men before they have a chance to say something nice. And black men are on the defensive and saying ugly things to black women because y'all all the same. You gonna come at me with an attitude, so I might as well come at you reckless. We gotta stop. It's okay just to say hi. It's okay to speak and not want anything further. It's okay for somebody to buy you a cup of coffee just because you were standing in line at Starbucks and they happen to be behind you, without expecting something more. We got to stop just dropping this blanket on everybody and thinking everything is something bad. And we got to stop because I have a bad attitude because my day is going bad. F you. I don't want to talk to you. Why are we pushing our bad energy, our negative feelings, our hostility off on other people? They didn't do anything to you. You mad at the wrong person. Is we on both sides. Men are creating women who are mad, angry, and bitter, and women are creating men that are mad, angry, and bitter. And then we're looking across the line at each other, mad, angry, and bitter with each other. And it's unfair and it's detrimental. And we are pushing this off on our kids, on the generations coming after us.
Right. Because they're seeing all this.
We got to make it better.
Yeah.
We've got to stop just pushing this off. I treat everyone the same. If you see me walking down the hallway, I got that rest in peace face. That it exists. I'm sorry. I'm not a mean person though. If you speak to me, I'm gonna speak back. If you walk by, you look sad, I'm probably gonna say, hey, good morning. How you doing? I was driving down the street the other day on my way to work, minding my business, rest in face, and the construction worker waved at me. And I rolled down the window and smiled. And he said, well, dog, I thought you was having a bad morning. No, sir, I wasn't. I was just contemplating. I didn't want to go to this job this morning, but I'm fine. Good morning. How are you? And we had a nice, calm conversation as I waited for the flag man to wave me on by. There's a misconception. There's miscommunication that's happening. You feel like you looking at somebody and they look mad. And as a man, the first thing they want to say is, you too pretty for that man face.
Smile.
And
it's taking it to insult.
Smile. Or just say, you know what? Today's not a great day. You don't have to go off and get mad and get angry and start yelling and cutting up. They really are just trying to brighten your day sometimes. Now, I will not sit here and pretend that some of them are not.
Right.
That some of them really are out to make your life and your day even worse. They exist. They do. But sometimes what's happening is each party is feeding off of the other. Neither one of y'all intended to start out in a quarrel, in a argument. That wasn't the initial intent. But that's what happened because we were feeding off of our perceived impression of the other person.
I just read a news article about the epidemic of male loneliness. My question for you is, why do you think men are so lonely? Here are my thoughts. I think men don't know how to have conversations with women, the single men. The single men who are in their 20s, 30s, all the way up to 60s and 70s, I don't think they know how to have conversations just on the dating apps. The conversation back and forth, text messages, they don't know how to do it. If you get them on the phone, they don't know how to ask questions because quite frankly, I don't think they're interested in our lives. They're looking for a couple of things. I think they're looking for someone to take care of them like a mother did, or like their previous relationship or their previous wife if they're older. For instance, I dated a man. We went out on 3 dates. And by the 3rd date, I realized he was not ready for a relationship. But also, he was basically looking for someone to take the position of his wife. He said, you know, since being divorced, I have to go grocery shopping. And I have to get, you know, food. And I have to run these errands that she always did. And then there's cleaning on, you know, I have to clean the house. And he was very bothered that he now has to do all the things that his wife did. And he was a very, very successful man with a very successful business and a beautiful home. And I think men later in life just don't want to do that. But he flat out told me he is straight out looking for a relationship, and it was basically to fill that position. I don't want that position. I don't want to do that. I think the other thing that causes male loneliness is that the men are watching too much porn, and they think that's how to relate to a woman in the same manner as these episodes. And so they ask inappropriate questions on the first date or even on the phone. They go straight to that. And I know they are looking for someone to satisfy them in the bedroom. Absolutely. I get that. Do I want someone? Yes. I think that would be a beautiful thing. But in the talking stage, when you're messaging or on the phone, that's not a conversation. Now, I've had men saying, we're adults. We should be able to talk about these things. Come on, we're an adult. Why can't I ask you this? I am not going to have a conversation or sexting with you unless I've met you. And I'm probably not going to do it until second, third date, until I know I like you. Do I like you enough to want to be with you? That's the question. But these men aren't getting it. They think get to being with them and then find out if we like them. It doesn't work that way. So men, be appealing that she wants to be with you. I don't know. I think also women are protecting their serenity and their life. I think women are saying, I want someone who is going to be 50% finances, 50% taking care of home, 50% taking care of the planning for travel, and 50% taking care of the children. And if you're not doing that, they're choosing to be alone. They're protecting their serenity and their life. Now, so many of you are saying, Alice, create a life. Why are you so lonely? Get hobbies, get girlfriends. Okay, I do have hobbies. This is why right now, no makeup. I'm in my robe. I'm going to change in a few minutes, put my surfboard in the car, and I'm going surfing. And then I'm going to hang out with friends at the beach. And on the way home, I am going to just enjoy the drive going down Pacific Coast Highway. And when I get home, my house is going to be clean the way I left it. No dishes in the sink. Nothing left on the floor, no empty refrigerator, and saying, what's for dinner tonight? I don't have to stop to think, what am I going to make? What food I get to come home and have girl dinner. And I absolutely love my girl dinner. I think it's the most wonderful thing. Now, do I enjoy cooking for someone? Absolutely. But I don't have to do it 7 nights a week thinking, what am I going to make for dinner? What does he want? I did that when I was raising my family. I cooked for many years for other people, and I don't have to do that anymore. So I don't know if I'm ever going to be attracted to a man enough to want to be in a relationship that I live with him or marry him. That's my situation right now. Do I want a relationship with a man? Sure. I love the company of a man. I love going out and doing fun things with them, both outside and inside. You know, but I don't know. If I do find a man that I'm attracted to, I'm going to be a little bit about like Carol Burnett, he's going to need to live next door because I like to eat when I eat, sleep, watch TV, go to bed. I like my house clean. And I think men are looking for a caretaker. I think they're looking for someone to cook, clean, shop, and do all those things. And the young men are looking for mothers that are going to take care of the children so that they can go golfing 2 times on the weekend, Saturdays and Sundays. Those are my thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts. Why do you think there is such a male loneliness epidemic that there's news articles about them? Let me know.
Dave Larison said, I've been happiest by myself. Just because we are alone does not mean we are lonely. Say whatever you want. I like myself. If someone comes along, then great. I love my peace for now. Thanks, Dave. John says, I must be rare then. I take care of myself. I also took care of my late wife. R.I.P. Sorry about that, sir. I'm genuinely looking for a woman, not for a need, but because I want someone in my life, again, to share life together. Y'all continue to say this type of stuff about men, and men have no clue what y'all are talking about. Men have no clue who's having the conversation, but y'all will do dissertations, movies, films, think pieces on something that men they were never even aware that it was happening. But y'all think it is. All right.